Hi, if you still have water in your dishwasher when the cycle's ended, the chances are you either have a blockage or the pump is faulty. So in this video I'll be testing and replacing the discharge pump on a Zanussi tabletop dishwasher. Before you do any work on an electrical appliance, remember to disconnect it from the mains power supply first. The tools needed for this project are a small to medium sized flat bladed screwdriver, a T20 Torx bit and driver, a Phillips screwdriver, a pair of engineer's pliers and a multimeter. It may be best to remove the inlet water hose from the machine before commencement of any repair work, because the appliance will need to be laid on its back, and if the hose is not quite as long as you thought, it could cause it to leak at one of the joints. It's up to you if you remove the basket or not, but I prefer to take it out. The same goes with the water in the sump. I also prefer to remove as much as I can before tilting the machine over. Although it won't leak out of the cabinet, some water may come out when you remove the pump. I think you'll probably need to lay a towel down to catch the water that will come out from the metering tank as the dishwasher is laid on its back. This is unavoidable, and the amount of water that comes out depends on the size of the tank. There are 4 T20 Torx screws on the underside of the wrap over cabinet which have to come out. These are the only screws holding it on, but you still have to unhook the front section from the fixing points on the tub so it can be completely removed. Use a flat bladed screwdriver and fit it between the cabinet and the tub assembly on one side of the machine, then ease it backwards. If it's tight, you may need to ease the lower front edge of the cabinet out as you lever the screwdriver back. This will free it from the tub. Do the same on the top and the other side of the cabinet to release it from the tub assembly. It can now be lifted off the tub and placed somewhere out of the way. Just so you know what to expect, these are the tags the cabinet was hooked into, and this is the metering tank that retains water even after the wash is finished. It's where the water comes from when you turn the dishwasher over. Turn the dishwasher on its back again and remove the 3 screws from the front edge of the base plate. These screws are also T20 Torx screws. The rear of this panel hooks into the tub base and should come free quite easily, but handle it with care because the edges are sharp. There's also an earth wire connected at one corner which has to come off. Now you can get to all the components on the dishwasher, and in particular the discharge pump. It is possible to electrically test the pump while it's still connected to the dishwasher. First select the 200 scale on your meter, then connect one probe on either of the pump terminals and the other probe on the remaining terminal. You should get a reading on the meter which would indicate that you have continuity through the windings. If not, then replace it. Although this pump registered OK, the impeller could still be jammed, so for that reason I'll carry on and remove it anyway. The fastening clips on these hoses were put on by the factory, and if you put the end of a small flat bladed screwdriver in it like this and twist, it will open the clip enough to allow it to come off. They do say these clips are reusable if you have the right tool, but I feel far more comfortable replacing them with the Jubilee clip instead. When you've loosened the clip, remove the 2 screws holding the pump in place and you can pull it out of the hose. Be aware there may be a bit of water in the housing as you pull it free from the hose. With the pump off, it's far easier to remove the wires than when it's still attached to the tub, and at this point the discharge pipe is still attached to the pump housing with a spring clip, so you'll need a pair of pliers to release it. In the event the pump motor is faulty, it's possible to just replace the motor section of the pump, and there are a few different types that fit. Although the wiring pins may be located differently, they should still work whichever way round they're wired up, and by changing just the motor could work out cheaper than buying a complete pump assembly. When you have the pump apart, check for anything that may have lodged in the housing, such as a small piece of glass or an elastic band that may have got wrapped around the impeller. The jerky movement of the impeller is normal on this type of motor, and the pump should not be discarded for this reason alone. When you reassemble the pump, make sure the seal has been fitted properly or it will leak, and don't over tighten the screws or you could strip the thread. There are only 3 Phillips head screws holding the motor onto the fan housing, but make a note before you dismantle it just where the inlet and outlet sections of the housing fit, as well as the fixing bracket, or you could end up putting it back together wrong and it won't fit onto the dishwasher in the right position. Remember to fit the Jubilee clip on the hose before replacing the pump. It's obvious, I know, but it has happened. And while the pump is out, reconnect the wires. Although it's not essential, it does make it a bit easier. Replace the 2 fixing screws to hold the pump onto the tub before you tighten any hose clips. This way the pump will be in the correct position and none of the hoses will be twisted. The outlet pipe should be the last to go on when the pump is in position. Once again, this will prevent it from being put on at the wrong angle. The rear of the base plate hooks under these tabs on the dishwasher frame, and the 3 screws hold the front of it in place. Remember to reattach the earth wire to the base plate before replacing it, or it may get forgotten. Fit the cabinet in place and hook the top section in the clip by the door latch first. Then press one of the lower front side edges in against the dishwasher and tap it from behind with the heel of your hand. This will locate it in place. Do the same with the other side and then turn the dishwasher on its back so you can fit the 4 screws underneath. Stand the dishwasher upright and refit the water hose along with any other part you may have removed, such as a filter or basket. But before you test it, do an earth continuity check just to make sure the appliance is properly earthed. Set your meter to the 200 ohms scale, then place one of your meter probes on the earth terminal on the plug and the other on any exposed metal section of the machine. You should get a reading, but if not, you have no earth, so the appliance needs further inspection before use. On behalf of Selfix UK, we'd like to thank you for watching this video and hope you found it useful. Goodbye.